What if I told you that in this peaceful place that looks pretty much like any kibbutz in the 1940s, just a few years before the modern state was born, a group of young men and women built here a secret underground factory. And not just any factory, but a factory that secretly produced the bullets that would be used in the War of Independence to defend the Jewish communities and help establish the State of Israel. And where was this secret bullet factory? Just underneath a laundry facility and a bakery. And for 3 years, the factory worked and the secret was kept unnoticed. In its 3 years of operation, more than 2 million bullets were made here and secretly distributed throughout the country. This is the story of the Ayalon Institute, one of the most daring and brilliant operations in modern Jewish history. To understand this story, we need to go back to the 1940s. At that time, Israel did not exist yet and the land was under the British mandate. The Jewish communities here, known as the Yishuv, were growing, but facing a major problem. They had almost no weapons. The British severely restricted Jewish access to arms, especially after the Arab Revolt in the late 1930s. In the years that followed the end of the Second World War, the tension between the Jewish community and the British mandate escalated, and after a few operations of the Jewish forces, especially known as the Night of the Bridges, in which the Palmach attacked 11 bridges, after which the British raided on Jewish communities all over the country, looking for arms. 2,700 people were arrested, and many of the weapons that were collected and stored for years were taken away. For the Jewish leadership here, led by David Ben-Gurion, it was clear that a confrontation was coming. The British leaving was just a matter of time, and they knew that the Arab leadership won't accept the establishment of a Jewish state and will do everything in its power to stop it. Ben-Gurion had lists in which he constantly reviewed the number of people and military capacities of the neighboring countries, knowing that he had to prepare. And without weapons, there would be no chance of survival when the war would come. That's where the underground defense organization, the Haganah, needed to come up with solutions. This is Yosef Avidar, and in 1945 he was appointed to develop a security industry, a big name for a humble beginning. Most of the workshops that could weld, build armor on trucks and make Sten rifles were small workshops and garages, and to try to make an actual industry out of it, especially under the British eyes, was very difficult. Especially for what they needed the most, 9mm bullets, the kind used in Sten guns, which were simple to make and widely used at the time. So they couldn't just build a factory, the British were everywhere. Instead, Yosef came up with a bold idea, building a factory underground, and not just hidden in the end of nowhere, but hidden in the center, in plain sight. In 1945, the Haganah began construction. The location chosen was a kibbutz training center called Givat HaKibbutzim, the Kibbutzim Hill near Rehovot. Above ground, everything looked completely normal. A laundry facility, a bakery, dining hall and chickens running around, a peaceful agriculture community. But underneath it, they dug a large underground hole, about 8 meters, 24 feet below ground, completely sealed with machines that were smuggled in piece by piece. In order to allow for 45 workers to work hours underground every day, 2 chimneys were built, and disguising them was done by building a bakery over one of them and a laundry room over the other. The entrance was hidden under the massive industrial washing machine. The people who worked here were incredibly young. Many were in their early 20s, some were even teenagers that volunteered for the mission. They learned what the duty was only after they agreed to follow the instructions that would follow and vowed for complete secrecy. The days were intense, long hours underground in a small and loud space. They lived under constant pressure. If discovered, they would be arrested, the entire operation would collapse, and the Jewish community would lose a critical advantage. The main group that was active here was a group that already knew each other from high school. They learned in the Gymnasium Herzliya in Tel Aviv and were members of the scouts of the Tzofim and planned together to build a kibbutz. When they were offered to join this operation, they willingly said yes, even though they didn't know the details of what they were about to do here. And in the 3 years of operation, day by day, under that intense pressure that went on and on, they had to find solutions to the simple problems that came up. For example, they hardly saw any daylight. Being underground, their skin became very pale. They started to be ill. So they started to adjust the nutrition that they ate to whatever the body needed. They put UV lights underneath the ground to get some kind of a sunbath so that they will look healthy to the outsiders that didn't know what they were doing. And in order to disguise the smell that came out from the factory, the chimney of the bakery was working. Bread was being baked here every day and distributed to the neighboring communities. I'm Itai, I'm a tour guide in Israel. Thank you for watching this video. Do share your thoughts with me in the comment sections and subscribe for more. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day.